So, we've been practicing together for a whole month now. So let's keep it going. Hi, Bryan from Airflow Music here once again. Welcome back to another video. This, believe it or not, is day 30 of our Go Practice Daily series. That means, by my calculations, that we've basically been here a whole month now, which is fantastic. So, once again, lots of lovely messages from you in the last day or two, and thank you very much for those. Before we get into playing the exercises today, this will actually be my second time going through exercise 1 from set 5. And the reason for that is that in a lesson I was teaching earlier on, my student had been watching the videos, and so we went through exercise 1 together. And it brought a couple of interesting things to light that I want to make sure that I touch on to make sure that they're understood. The first thing being that I know I've talked about the fact of playing these various different dynamics, and in particular those occasions where I've been recording these early in the morning or late in the evening and I've had to be very soft. Okay, now it is true to say at those moments I am playing it extremely softly, but I'm not sure it translates generally how softly I play these exercises. And so even when I'm not particularly talking about the fact of playing them soft, I'm really trying to go as soft and easy with them as possible. It's really quite a gentle approach, and this was brought home as we were playing earlier on, my student and I, because by the time we got to the notes towards the end, the upper notes towards the end of the set, we were starting to blow the walls down a little bit. And we talked about it, and I said, you know, what is the difference between how you're playing them and how I'm playing them? And you notice straight away, you know, I was just a lot more relaxed and a lot more gentle in how I approach these things. And so that's something I'd like for you to take into the exercises today as we play them. It's not just dynamics, it's more about the breath support that we've talked about a couple of times now, and just making sure that we don't need to blow too hard to get these things to happen. And so the things I'm looking for are definitely playing in time and trying to really zero in on that. That's the Caruso element of all of this, but the kind of non-Caruso, the Caruso method, and Carmine Caruso, I never met the man, unfortunately. I was around too late in New York City. But from what I understand from many friends and colleagues, and also some of you who studied directly with him, is that there often was a sense that how we sound as we play these things is secondary to the fact of simply playing them. And that in time, things will come around and start to sound good just as a result of doing the work. And there's a certain element of truth to that, as far as I'm concerned. But also, I think we always have to be working on the principle that even if it doesn't sound great to begin with, it can sound great in time. And so we should be working towards that. So what I'm going for here is not only generally looking for a decent tone quality to begin with as I play these exercises, but also that as I get them more and more solidified, that should improve. And that's not just in terms of the overall tone quality, but my approach to playing them as well, which is that I want these to feel as easy as possible. And I want the consistent nature of very clearly playing in time and taking that sort of Caruso approach to be something that really solidifies and crystallizes and locks into place that feeling of playing easy. Okay? We develop easy response and a relaxed approach to doing this. And we have to remember that, you know, relaxed approach is great. Relaxed doesn't mean that nothing's engaged, nothing's working. Muscles are still working for us. I'm sitting here in front of you right now. I'm sitting up reasonably straight, but I would say at the same time, I'm pretty relaxed. I'm not kind of bolt upright. I'm not being super rigid about it. I'm relaxed. But muscles are still evidently working, otherwise I'd just kind of collapse and go, ugh. Okay? And so we have to remember these things. Being relaxed doesn't mean an absence of muscles working and things being engaged and functioning. If it did, we wouldn't be able to breathe when we sleep. Okay, anyway, I'm harping on this for too long. But in any case, what I want you to look out for as you play these exercises, and that's what we're going to get into right now, is to really look for the easiest way you can do this. And for me, that means focusing on my breath support, making sure my chest stays up as I breathe. And my chest comes up because I filled up with air, not because I put it there and tried to fill it up. Okay? I want this to be the easiest way possible, and I want to not blow too hard. I want to just kind of float these notes on top of the air column that exists because I got a good breath. Right, anyway, with that, if I've not caused too much confusion, let's get into exercise 1. So, exercise 1 is the same thing we've been doing. We're going from set 5, exercise 1, and the rules remain the same. I'm playing this as a long setting. Your mileage with that may vary, but that means that I'm keeping my mouthpiece on my lips throughout the entire exercise. And so any breathing I'm doing is through my nose. If you're not playing long setting, then you can release the mouthpiece from your lips at the rest bars and breathe through your mouth if you prefer. Other than that, the rules remain the same. So we're going at 60 beats a minute. I am focusing on trying to play cleanly in time, being very accurate. So I'm tapping my foot and subdividing the beat to make sure that I'm filling the spaces. I'm breath starting the first note of each phrase, and I'm trying to breathe in time on the rest bars. Personally, I'm doing a flugelhorn day today, just because I won't get an opportunity to play it otherwise today, okay? You can go for a flugelhorn or cornet day if you prefer today, or just stick with your trumpet, or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's just not for any particular reason other than the fact that I feel like it. Okay? Let's get into exercise 1. Okay, so that was exercise 1. As usual, didn't go off too badly today. A couple of things didn't quite speak, a couple of things got a little uneven. Getting used to the flugelhorn valves again. Also, as you may have noticed, I've got a band-aid on my finger, so that's just a slight distraction. It's just sore. I skinned the pad of my finger earlier on. So it's, you know, little things like that are little distractions, but other than that, it generally went okay, and it was good to have the reminder for myself to focus on the breath support and try not to blow too hard and let those things go nice and easy. How are you finding that? Did that make sense, what I was saying about, you know, really trying to support through these things and not blow too hard? If that doesn't, please leave a comment below and I'll see if I can go into it in some more depth and perhaps offer some more clarity. Okay? With that, let's get into exercise 2. We're going to continue at 72 beats a minute today. As that felt pretty good yesterday. We'll still need to lock that in a little bit more before we move it any faster. So that's what I'm going to do. Other than that, it's set 5 exercise 2. It's the same as we've been doing for a couple of days. So we know what we're up against at this point. Like I say, 72 beats a minute. 3 bars of 16th notes or semiquavers. So the first bar is slurred, second bar is tongued. Third bar is 2 beats slurred, 2 beats tongued. Then we have the whole note and then 2 bars rest. At which point we get the mouthpiece off our lips and reset for the next downbeat. Okay? Other than that, much the same that we've been doing. Again, I'm going to try and keep this on the soft and gentle side and try and let the breath support do as much of the work, particularly in the upper register notes, to really get me up to that note so the tongue has less to do to make the note change as we get into the alternate fingering notes in particular. Okay? So, let's get into it. Exercise 2. Okay, so there's exercise 2. Once again, didn't go off too badly. I'm feeling much more comfortable with the tempo now and keeping the rhythm of this fairly even. Playing it on flugelhorn presented a couple different challenges. Just, you know, I make an effort to include that in my practice, so I'm not surprised when the mouthpiece feels a little bit different, for instance. And that's just the thing, I haven't played this particular set on that horn or that mouthpiece yet, so it was a little bit different, but nothing particularly untoward. Yeah, overall feels pretty good, and I'm starting to feel pretty locked in on it. Yeah, so usual question is, how are you making out with this one? How are you feeling about it now? Got a couple of messages from people with different things, which I'll address probably in tomorrow's video. My other question actually is, this was day 30. So, how many of you have stuck with me and played along all 30 days? Very interested to hear that, because I know the only people who are still here at this point in the video are the folks who may have done that. So, you know, please let me know if you've managed to do all 30 days, or if not, how many days you have done along with me. Always interested to hear. Anyway, that's it for this one. This has been 30 days. I should say that unlike the 30 days of long tones where that was it, I'm continuing for a while. We'll keep doing daily videos and keep moving through these, and then as my schedule gets busier with touring again during April, we'll certainly do these a number of times a week, even if not every day. So I'm not going anyplace, I'm going to be here often, okay? So with that, if you have enjoyed this video and the exercises, please do hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you back here for another one tomorrow, which will be day 31. Goodness me. So, until then, you know what to do. Go practice.